For the most realistic steering system available on the market, look no further than Sim Steering from Leo Bodnar. Designed and hand-built at the home of British Motorsport's Silverstone circuit, it's extensively used by professional driver training centres and race teams including Formula 1 since 2010. The high precision and completely linear response coupled with high strength provides the ultimate in realistic steering force feedback. Visit simsteering.com.
There are your champions for World Sport Series 2015. Walk
racing. Certainly always walked it this weekend.
Eyes wide shut, but they know, buried alive by the lies in they soul. They stride of a blind man's stroll. Well, for whom does the next bell toll? This a long time coming like a comet pass. Got them all fired up from the rocket blast. And if I fall on my sword, turn my bone to ash. Let it clog up the sand in that hourglass. We in the title fight, blow for a blow. And you can reap the benefit of what I have to sow. Cause I'm about that worth of which you don't appear to know. So you can take the scene while I take over the show. And you don't wanna let this turn in the lines of mine and yours. And you don't wanna push your luck with a back up and withdraw. Cause trust me when I tell you, you don't want that tooth and claw. And you don't wanna see inside the mind of a savage kind. And you don't want that recognition of, oh, there goes that guy. But if you do decide that you were gonna play that hand and try, just think before you act, because your actions don't rewind.
User was moved to your channel.
Hello and welcome to the qualifying broadcast for round 4 of the Virtual Endurance Championship for the 24 Hours of Spa. Currently out on track, fastest class of cars, the big boys as it were, in the LMP1s, looking to see who's going to be qualifying into Room 1 and who's going to be qualifying into Room 2 today. I'm Oscar Hardwick, and joining me shortly will be Lewis McGlade for the remainder of the sessions. We're going to be seeing LMP1s, followed by LMP2s, followed by GTE Pro, and then rounding it off with GTE AM. Each class has a 25-minute qualifying session, and I believe there is a short 5-minute break or so in between each. So looking around, and it looks like Stephen Bailey is the first of our LMP1 drivers to start a lap. The rain already lashing down here at Spa-Francorchamps as Stephen Bailey for DHR goes through Eau Rouge and Raidillon, keeping it within the white lines over the top. New anti-cut put in there up at the top here can lift the car right the way up, and you lose a lot of momentum, which going down towards the following chicane, you need the momentum to keep up the time. People that have been particularly quick have included the DHR drivers. We've seen lots and lots of people keeping very close to them, 3 wide, and your usual suspects at this point, expecting also to see Feeder Sport Poland feature towards the top, and potentially a few others, as Bart Strubans looks like one of the guys that might have gone out on soft tyres and tried to risk getting one dry lap in Span, exiting Eau Rouge by the looks of it. So he's actually lost a lap, and that's a pretty dangerous thing to do. It can be worth the risk if you do get that one dry lap as the session tries to catch up with the live weather. You could very well put yourself into an easy pole position. But it's such a risk with the percentage rain chance that we've got, which I believe was announced at about 71% chance of rain just before the session began. Still looking around, trying to determine who's going to be our first driver to set a lap. I'm still of the thought that it might be Stephen Bailey. I could be missing someone though, not that I've seen them up ahead of him. So Stephen Bailey for DHR actually being followed round by the Feeder Sport Poland Porsche at the moment. That Feeder Sport Poland Porsche being driven by, and excuse me whilst I figure this one out, having a look around, apologies for this, Pashalis Gergish, there we are. So not Kuba Brzezinski. Maybe we would have expected to see Kuba Brzezinski, as Stephen Bailey posts a 1:59.8 and Pashalis Gergish of Feeder Sport Poland a 2:01.3. Kieran Parkin going in between them, the second of the DHR cars, on a 2 minutes 0.307. So the nature of the qualifying today, I think you will see the fastest laps done on this first run. Basically, with the rain percentage and the chance of rain being as it is, the track will only get wetter from when they leave the pit exit. And so, unless anyone can pull anything out of the bag on the second laps of this first qualifying run, then I honestly doubt that you're going to see anyone beat Stephen Bailey. So provided that is a clean lap, I didn't see all of it, provided he did keep it within the white lines, I would be extremely surprised if you saw anyone else beat Stephen Bailey to the pole position today. Currently a DHR 1-2, although people quite close to Kieran Parkin in regards to pace, although he's looking to be on an absolute stonker of a lap here, maybe even improving on the second one. So we'll see if he can do it, as Rudy Kuppen has just gone 6th, and then I believe been displaced almost immediately by the RGPL driver David Berenek. So lots going on the track, people still posting fast times, but like I say, I'd be surprised if after this lap you see those times get very much quicker. I, at the moment, unfortunately can't see the exact rain percentage, so I'm just having to assume that because I can see it raining, it is getting wetter as the session goes on. And it's relatively dark, as Kieran Parkin on his lap actually cuts the inside of the circuit there, so even if this one's an improvement, it's probably not going to be a legal improvement, and he'll unfortunately be someone who finds that out later when going back through his replays. Looks like 3-wide driver Martin Furman as well has had an issue on his second lap during his qualifying run, currently sitting 7th on 2 minute 2.4, and would have been looking to go a bit quicker than that, but has struggled to pull it out of the bag. Other good times at the moment, Yuri Kasdorp for Revolution Racing. They have run into all kinds of bad luck and incidents, as Stephen Bailey posts a 57.8 with Kieran Parkin just behind on a 58.6. The two DHR cars thoroughly clear of everyone else, as Palash Gergish improved as well onto a 59.3, staying 3rd, with a few other improvements around, with Michael Callenbach 2:01.0, putting himself into 4th position provisionally That is a tricky sentence to get yourself through. So looking further, still 2 drivers yet to set a time, Barry Hedrick and Bart Strubantz. As I say that, Barry Hedrick crosses the line, a 2-minute 11.1. That puts him 16th of 16 qualified drivers at the moment. And Strubantz, the VRL driver, also the driver who unfortunately lost control whilst trying to risk it on a soft tyre earlier in the session. And now, unfortunately, sitting in the way is Stephen Bailey, and that's not going to make anyone happy. Particularly Mr. Bailey. He never gets upset when there's cars in front of him slowing him down ever so slightly. As David Berenek there improves again and just displaces Jan Wimenting to go 5th. Now, my understanding is, and there will be a third car here that I just cannot remember, and unfortunately, if I alt tab at this stage from the spectator session, I'm going to crash the game, but certainly the number 8 DHR car, driven by Stephen Bailey, and the number 30 Feeder Sport Poland car, currently being driven by Pauszas Gergish, they would definitely get in anyway. They're both in the top 3 in the standings. The top 3 cars in each class are automatically qualified into Room 1, provided that they turn up, basically. And that's fine, normally, because those 3 cars you would expect to be running around in the top 10 of their respective fields as is. The only issue really comes about if they're qualifying, say, 11th or 12th, at which point it puts the bubble for qualifying into Room 1 a step higher up the leaderboard. So if someone in the top 3 in any class was currently sitting 12th, for example, then you would have to be within the top 9 to qualify into Room 1. And that goes for every class, although there are normally small differences, as Kieran Parkin has actually displaced Stephen Bailey at the top of the time, so shows everything about what I thought in respects to whether the times would get quicker. They certainly will. Kieran Parkin putting in a storming lap, a 1:57.5. And it's the nature of these wet tyres that in the right conditions, they go almost as quick as the softs. And we've seen in practice the occasional 55 and lots of talk of doing 55s in a dry qualifying. But to be doing 57s on a track this wet really is impressive. And at the moment, both DHR cars a solid 1.5 seconds clear of anyone else, to be expected, given the number of laps that you can see that they've put in if you go and check out the live races, which is accessible from rf2vec.net. It should just be on the left of the page. Also available from that website, if you have a poke around, is live timing and scoring from the session, so you can follow the times, teams and drivers more closely than I can explain to you via the broadcast. Good tip is to have both of them open, have a chat about it, as I've been joined in the commentary booth by Lewis McGlade,
I do
who has
apologise.
finally got back, despite having run around for a bit, not having been here. Hello, and as you can see, it's damp, and by damp I mean really, really wet. And at the moment, DHR making the most of that with their Audis.
Yeah, I do expect some of the Porsches to come a bit further forward considering the conditions, but they've got quite a bit of a break up front, and Stephen Bailey improving once more. So I'm assuming it's drying up a little bit out there as well.
I think it's staying roughly the same. It looks to be probably between 30 and 40% wetness online at the moment, and
yeah,
sticking around at that point.
Increasing a little bit, but the offline wetness isn't decreasing, or increasing. So
it makes it more and more difficult to pull these laps out because you're allowed to make less and less errors. As Bailey does 56 1.
Yes.
I mean, that's just insane. It must be getting drier. Again, I can't quite see the wetness on the track, so...
Yeah, you see, this is the part of the session where, as Pastor Skirgus improves as well, this is the part of the session where the wet tyres are nice, they're grippy, they're comfortable, they're not being overtaxed, and you can do those kind of good times. 6 months an incredible time.
No one's ever going to get the same bit of track twice when the weather's like this.
No, it's a bit of luck, taking the conditions as they come, and it's just about keeping it calm, keeping your mind off of the conditions changing. You know, you need to just get in the car, do some laps, not worry about what's going on, what other people are doing. In fact, in these conditions, what I'd suggest doing is just turning off the standings. You don't need to know them, you just need to do some laps. You don't need to know what sectors you're up on or down on or anything. You just need to put in the laps.
Absolutely, and I think that is what Stephen Bailey did, and he's just been in and out. The entire time he's had his car on the circuit and hasn't wasted a second, as I think I just saw the sky get ever so slightly darker, which could point towards the conditions worsening in the very near future.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm just doing the game now, so I can actually see what's going on.
Other people putting on an impressive display, Luca Rodelli for GT Italia. They've not had the best of seasons in respect to qualifying or results, but currently running in a good spot with their LMP1 entry in 5th position.
Have we been through the top 3 in the standings?
The top 2, because I don't know who's 3rd.
No, neither do I. I've got my game open in full screen. I do apologise.
Yeah, someone's 3rd.
And I can't alt tab
Sorry.
because RFT.
Yes, it's exactly the problem that I described just a few moments ago.
I know RGPL are 4th. Could it be TXL?
You know, it might be, and of course, that's another news story that
Yes.
TXL actually have moved out of the series as Kieran Parkin posts a 56.7 and Thurman moves to 3rd on a 57.7.
Yeah, but no, that is a very interesting story. Basically, what's happened in between, of course, the 8 hours of Interlagos and this qualifying session for the 24 hours of Spa, we've had TXL, the champion team from Season 7, have actually pulled out of Season 8. Christian Michel's gone to Revolution Racing, which is currently being qualified by Yuri Kazdorp in 6th position. A bit of a surprise there. I would have actually put Christian in that car, but yeah, the TXL are out, and I'm pretty sure they would be 3rd, but who knows. I do apologise, I've not done any of my research. I'll leave the game after this and go have a look.
Yes, and of course, next session, LMP2s, I'm not going to be in the commentary box because I'm going to be busy trying to not die.
Oh, it's the SRVN car, the 111.
Oh, okay.
And they are in 12th position at the moment, which does mean that Gregory Boulat in the IRG Motorsports car is not actually in Room 1 at the moment.
Just you said that Sean Campbell actually bumped up a couple of spots and put Berenek to be the first one out and put himself on the bubble.
Yeah, Canastracci moves up into 8th position for Texas drivers as well. That's good stuff for him.
There are a few corners here today where you are allowed to run wide, that being most notably Blanchimont and the exit of corner of no name. And normally very strict white line rules, but in those instances you should be all right if you do run a bit wide.
Yeah, of course you also have Eau Rouge, not the top of Eau Rouge, or is it? I can't even remember what the bottom left-hand is called.
No, the bottom's Eau Rouge and the top's Radion, I think.
Is it?
Yes.
Wouldn't have a clue.
I mean, it's just this big fast corner that you do flat out. You don't hit the handstill on the top.
You ignore the rest of it. But yes, the first, I believe it's the left kink where you've got the massive curb on the left-hand side. You're allowed to use quite a lot of that. As far as I'm aware, I don't know.
I don't think so. I think that was still white lines.
Is it?
I think so.
Well, that's great. Your current order, though, as it is raining 16%, it is getting wetter, so I don't actually suspect this order will change very much, which is fantastic for me. As I say that, Yuri Kazdorp, wow, there's people switching all over the place now. As Kazdorp moved up into 5th, I think Radielli moved up into 6th, and Boulat moved up into 8th, from what I saw. Yeah, the track limits is T1 entry and exit. I had to fly over that. T3 entry left side, which is Eau Rouge, is it? Yep. T10 left side. Which one's T10? Oh, corner no name. But yeah, there's various places where you're allowed to exceed track limits in qualifying. Oh, no, we say exceed. You know, it's still staying within track limits. But
yeah, it's just classed as track limits.
The exceptions for this qualifying session today. Much like the qualifying exception at Interlagos was the pit lane entry blend line. They're allowed to fly over. I didn't get into trouble.
But only during qualifying.
I didn't get into trouble in the race at all over that.
I think most people got into trouble in the race. The vast majority of participants.
I will very quickly though go through your Room 1 standings for this session as is present, which it does usually change up between today's qualifying order and of course in about 3 days' time when the official standings come out as Berenek improves up into 7th position. You've got Stephen Bailey, who is currently leading the way in the number 8 car, second in the standings. You're currently followed by Kieran Parkin, who did go on to provisional pole position back at Interlagos. I believe Kieran's also done all of the qualifying sessions for the number 7 car this season. And then it's Martin Furman in the 3 wide car. They had a bit bad luck for the last 2 rounds, and obviously following that podium back at Silverstone, hopefully they can get back onto form here for the 24 hours of Spa. Then we've got Passis Gergis in the feeder sport, number 30, the championship leading LMP1 car. And then it's Yuri Kazdorp in the 003 Revolution racing car, followed by Luca Radielli in the Scuderia GT Italia, who I believe Scuderia GT Italia are yet to break through into Division 1. I will go check that in just a moment. Then you've got Berenek in the Team RGPL car, 4th in the standings for that car. Michael Kallenbach in the number 3 PRL Racing Team car. Obviously pole position for that car by Lucas Elbs back at Silverstone. Then it's Gregory Boulart in the IRG Motorsports GP car, followed by what will be actually 12th place, and Jan Wim Ensing in the SRVN 111 car. That's technically going to be breaking through into Room 1 due to the automatic transfer that they've got for being in the top 3 in the standings. And I will also confirm that GT Italia have not actually been in Room 1 at all this season, so that would be a tremendous thing for them, especially considering it's such an important qualifying session.
Yeah, it certainly is, and that's another thing, slight points differences for Room 1 and Room 2 participants going into this 24-hour event. So there is actually a little more in the way of, I won't say incentive, but it will do your points better if you're in Server 1, certainly, for this 24-hour event. So people definitely, there's no strategic sandbagging, shall we say. There's certainly no risk of it, because there's absolutely 100% no benefit to it at the moment.
In the qualifying session with about 6 minutes to go, just under, I don't suspect that order will switch up at all anymore.
Unlikely.
On the conditions. No, I don't think also those of you sitting on there expecting that we're going to get that amazing qualifying session that we had for GTE AM. Was it AM back in?
Pro.
Was it Pro?
Probably, yeah.
I don't even remember. I don't know. Yeah, no, it was AM because it was Simoncic that initially went onto pole position, so it was AM. Back at Interlagos. You know, we're not going to get an amazing qualifying session like that, but it's just not going to dry up enough. How you're qualifying today, of course, Oscar. What kind of mentality are you going to go into these conditions with in the LMP2 session that's about to come up in about 10 minutes' time? Well,
generally quite scared.
Nice, mate.
We're in a position, and I think it'll be different for everyone because everyone runs different setups for different drivers, but we're in a position where I think we're probably ever so slightly more competitive on a wet circuit at the moment than some of the other guys. So the fact that we're going to get a wet session almost definitely is beneficial.
Yeah, it's always interesting to see which teams it benefits and which teams fall flat really when it comes to these slightly wetter conditions. Of course, we have had it's 22 hours of racing, I believe, in the season so far, and only about 9 of which have actually been done in the dry. So I'm suspecting all of the drivers out there are well set in their wet ways.
You'd think so by this point, wouldn't you?
You would hope so. After the amount of laps that have been completed in the series so far in these conditions, you would hope that the drivers would be getting used to that. And as much as we don't, obviously, all that's race laps, the difference between the race cars and quali cars isn't realistically that much.
No, it's not all that much anyway, and I think it actually changes class to class because it depends a lot on what options you have available to you and what tyre the class would generally run in a race situation. So in LMP2, for example, you tend to see most of the teams running a soft tyre in the race. So we go to qualifying, the only thing we actually have available to us to change is radiator and fuel amount, and we burn so much fuel that the fuel's not that low. So in LMP2, we gain quite a small amount of time.
LMP1, we don't gain that much.
I would think, if anything, your GT classes would be the ones that really experience the gains with RPM limiting and most of them running a hard compound tyre in a race, moving to a soft for qualifying and having the largest fuel tanks and being able to take the most out. So you tend to see larger improvements in regards to pace difference in the GT classes when it comes to qualifying. And looking around at the times at the moment, no one improving. So the surface,
it's too wet. It's too wet. Just look at the amount of rain out there at the moment. It's too wet. But what that does leave us with is an interesting qualifying order for the 24 hours of Spa.
Oh, as Berenek and Vasquez have a huge coming together going down towards Eau Rouge.
Let's have a look at that, shall we? Vasquez exited the pit lane. Really should have got out of the way there. That was pretty silly. Obviously, I don't think it really matters in these conditions, unfortunately. But I mean, Vasquez was trying to pull out of the way, and Berenek didn't really care. I don't know. That from the both of them. That's a pretty silly incident, to be honest. Oh well. Yeah, I don't suspect this order's going to change very much at all.
No, I'm seeing people really limp at the moment in these conditions.
I mean, I suppose it's fairly good practice to drive around on the wet track, although everyone's already been practicing.
Yeah.
An absolute load.
And you've got Charles Gergish for Feedersport Poland back out. I don't think he's going to find anything on a 58.2.
No, not in these conditions. Sorry, how did you pronounce his name there?
Charles Gergish.
Wow, okay, I'm going to need to... I prefer Nikodem Wisniewski because I can actually pronounce that one.
He's practiced. Feedersport Poland are wonderful for giving us names that the English tongue struggles with.
Like.
I think it's fair to say
right.
we're not wonderful with some of the Polish drivers' names, and
it's great though to have a team where the easiest name to pronounce is the one with 2 Z's in it.
I don't know, Kuba Brzezinski's easy enough.
That's why I said 2 Z's in it.
I thought you meant Nikodem. My bad.
No. Oh, well. So does Nikodem Wisniewski have a Z in it? That's S's.
Are they S's?
Yeah, they're S's. what amazing commentary.
Yeah. We apologize. There's not a great deal of on-track stuff to talk about. There's 2 cars out there at the moment, one of which has just gone back to the pit lane.
Yeah.
I think it's just drenched. I think it's waterlogged at this stage.
The race being in
fact, this is session over because Campbell's about to escape from the circuit, and there's
done.
7, 6, 5.
Yeah, we're done.
Yeah, that's game set match. So
Stephen
provisionally,
Bailey.
Well done to both the DHR drivers.
Yes. Well, the last. Let's just be honest here. The last 2 rounds, 2 qualifying sessions that we've had, a DHR car has exited this session on pole position and has started the race in a week's time not on it. So,
yeah, it's a point.
You never know. With dirty cutters.
Don't know where the track is. It's the grey bit.
Right, we're just hearing some stuff about a promo video about to be played for you.
User left your channel.
Eyes wide shut, but they know, buried alive by the lies in they soul. They stride of a blind man stroll. Well, for whom does the next bell toll? This a long time coming like a comet past. Got them all fired up from the rocket blast. And if I fall on my sword, turn my bone to ash. Let it clog up the sand in that hourglass. We in the title fight, blow for a blow. And you can reap the benefit of what I have to sow. Cause I'm about that worth of which you don't appear to know. So you can take the scene while I take over the show. you were gonna play that hand and try. Just think before you act, because your actions don't rhyme.
All right, hello everyone, and welcome back to qualifying here at the 24 Hours of Spa for the Virtual Endurance Championship Season 8. Of course, we've got the LMP2 qualifying about to get underway shortly once they've all joined the game. And hopefully it will be another good one in the consideration of the mixed conditions we do have in front of us. Whether it will dry up later on in the session, it will stay in these rainy conditions. We're not quite sure at this moment, but with it being the Ardennes Forest here in Belgium, who actually knows what is going to happen with these conditions? All we know is that we're going to have an exciting 25-minute qualifying session. And if it's going to be anything like the early stages of the LMP1 qualifying session, we're going to have a very good one indeed. But hopefully we will not end the session not really talking about anything, as we are having the LMP2 drivers join. We will go through, obviously, as we normally do, the exceptions, the people that are already through into room 1. That will be Team Spirit Racing, the championship leading car, won both races at Silverstone and Fuji.
You edited
Did not win last time out into Lagos. And then they are followed by Sim HQ Motorsports on the podium back at Silverstone. Won the Interlagos race, only 3 points behind Team Spirit Racing. They are also one of the people, and you've got Scuderia GT Italia, who obviously their LMP1 car just got through into room 1 for the first time this season. So it's good to see them also going strong in the LMP2 category, been on the podium the previous 2 times this season. Actually, they finished runner-up at Fuji and Interlagos. Weren't on the podium at Silverstone, but they are looking strong this season, and they are only a further 3 points behind Sim HQ Motorsports. So it's a close championship here in the LMP2 category. And obviously, see, even the thing is with these top 3 teams, they're not even that far ahead of any of the other teams. You've got RGPL, who are actually technically joint on points with Scuderia GT Italia. They're also on 69 points. So they're still only 6 points off of the lead of this championship, and 4 points behind them you've got Odin Racing, who are on podium back in Silverstone and Fuji. And I'm expecting this session to be incredibly close, especially considering the mixed conditions. So hopefully looking forward to this session as we are getting close to moving over into the start of it. As yes, we have just moved over into qualifying. And what will the conditions be? It looks like it might be dry. Oh no, so it's a wet surface, not raining, as far as I can see. So yes, this is going to be interesting. We've had a crash in the pit lane between Schmidt and I believe it was the I can't even remember what the team's called. Power Max. The Coffee Drops car. Yeah, the rain has just started coming down again. Anyone going out on the slightly slick rubber will be obviously returned to pit lane immediately. The first car out on track was the man that had just been in commentary with us, Mr. Oscar Hardwick, on the wet tyres. I believe there's been a couple of additions to the 24 car since the previous round. I believe it's Casper Kolodevich who's joined that car, which you'll see obviously come race day. He's actually got Anderson Jans behind us, who we know is extremely strong in these sessions. I'll actually go and pull up the qualifying order from the previous few rounds. I know Anthony Jans obviously been fighting for pole position. I believe Anthony Jans has had pole position in at least 2 of the 3 rounds. I'm not sure about the third. But either way, it's going to be a tight session. Oscar Hardwick saying that he was pretty confident about the wet conditions in his Magenta Warriors car. So that'll be great. But we just have to wait about 2 minutes for them to start their laps, and we'll go from there. Yeah, well, I think it was Anthony Jans who had pole position back at Interlagos, just having a look at it. His Team Spirit Racing had it, so yes, that car is incredibly, incredibly fast. But one thing that I will note from the Interlagos, at least in the race and such, some of the things that were noted, at least pace-wise over a lap, is that a lot of the teams are closing up here in the LMP2 category. Anthony Jans obviously dominated the qualifying session back at Silverstone, and he is about to start his lap, but we'll just see if he can here. He'll be the first one to start a lap here in these tricky conditions, and we'll just see how much this session is going to change. It is going to be all over the place for the next 25 minutes here in LMP2. Down the hill from La Source and up towards Eau Rouge. Obviously, car looked pretty stable there through La Source. This is where I'm expecting them to be a little bit tricky, but no, I'm not sure what the wetness is. Let's go have a look at that. Yeah, it's a lot drier than it was in the previous session. It's raining a bit heavier though. We're at 13% online wetness, and its rain is getting a little bit heavier. So these laps here are going to be very, very important for these drivers. Of course, the points system, a slight change in points here for a 24-hour race means those people looking for a championship, very, very important that they get through into Room 1. As I believe it's a plus 30 bonus point for Room 1, which is a lot of points, especially when, as I said earlier, the top 5 or 6 in the standings are separated by not much more than 10 points. So, yeah, 30 is a lot. Looking like a pretty clean lap here from Anthony Jans, as you would expect. Oh, a bit of an issue there under the rear braking. Going around the back of the track. But yes, he's had a slight issue, but has gapped Oscar Hardwick by quite some margin over this lap, so I'm not sure if Oscar Hardwick's had much of an issue either. But yeah, just a mistake there. Slight mistake, but those kind of ones cost you a couple of tenths, and a couple of tenths in these conditions, especially with the way this session's bound to change. Could be an awful lot of time. Runs a bit too wide there out of the chicane. That is, I believe, illegal to do so. I don't remember reading anything about the chicane being legal to do so, so I'm pretty sure Anthony Jans' lap there is not allowed. But that's not for me to decide from my high horse here, watching from qualifying. It's a lot easier to watch qualifying than take part, I'll tell you that. I did one qualifying session and exceeded track limits myself, so I can hardly talk. As we are having some of the times come in, and the order changing about. A 2:07.7 currently your top time, but we're expecting that to be cut down. I'm pretty sure the fastest dry time that I've seen was a 2:03, a high 2:03, I believe. And that's not me just pulling a number out. I'm pretty sure I've seen a 2:03. Obviously a qualifying stint. But yeah, this session's it's just going to be a very difficult one. We've got Oscar Hardwick going purple in the first sector, not by much, but by a little bit, and Anthony Jans improving a little bit in the first sector from what I can see on live races. We also have Franco Scalette, who has gone purple in the middle sector for Scania Endurance Motorsport. He's I remember he's one of the teams that we'd looked at, or one of the drivers we'd looked at before as being a very, very fast driver. Is Scalette, and he goes up into third position. Doesn't quite get that third sector right. Actually, he was a second off in the first sector off of Oscar Hardwick's current. And now we actually have, oh wow, that is a long way as well. By about 0.7 of a second versus Franco Scalette's middle sector, we've got Anthony Jans up. He is a long way up in that middle sector. So Anthony Jans coming down to the final sector. The rain is dropping off here in LMP2. We've only got 9% rain, so the track will start drying up fairly soon, as that is a name I don't want to try and pronounce. goes on to pole position, beaten by Anthony Jans. It's Lazaros Filipakos for overstep. I'm pretty sure it's an overstep car. It is. Went up onto pole position, but then dropped back down into third as Oscar Hardwick also improved on a 2:06.506, half a second back from Anthony Jans. So yes, this order. Pedro Gomez goes up into fourth position for Sim HQ. Is that? Yes, it's Sim HQ. God, I'm getting good at this. That team, I believe, second or something in the standings. It's definitely up in championship contention and has been for the last few rounds. But I'm probably very wrong about that. Let's have a look. Sim HQ Motorsports, yep, second in the standings, 3 points off. So very important for that team to be doing well. As Quentin Benoit, it's a 10. It looked like that for Kyushu in the 07 car. Goes up into third position, 2:07.5. So currently, it looks like Anthony Jans and Oscar Hardwick have their cars under them very nicely in these conditions. A second clear, pretty much to the rest of the field. But this field is spread out massively at the moment. 7.1 seconds from first to 19th. Obviously, difficult conditions. Trying to get the car right. Obviously, if anyone's seen the qualifying broadcast from the 24 Hours of Daytona, of course, not the VEC 24 Hours of Daytona because we moved to Spa, but the real world 24 Hours of Daytona, it was absolutely soaking there, and a lot of those drivers were struggling with the conditions. So here at Spa, we're obviously having very wet conditions as well. And very quickly, in about a minute's time, we'll go through the top 10. And just give everyone the final 15 minutes of the session to completely destroy that order. We've got John Davies in the number 48 Powermax Sim Racing car going purple in the middle sector as Lazaros Filipakos goes up into second position. Let's have a look at that. John Davies, who's coming down into the bus stop chicane now. Let's say he had purple in the in that middle sector. He's 3.2 seconds off presently, about a tenth behind the top 10. As now they've one where he moves around even more. Where's he going to go? He does go up onto pole. Fantastic lap there for John Davies as Nathaniel Lupson also goes up into third position for DHR, the number 18 car. Very competitive car back into Lagos, unfortunately, with a DNF by their name. I believe due to a power cut from Jimmy Broadbent. Obviously not his fault in the first 15 laps of the race. But competitive car is the number 18. Not surprised that we're seeing them that far up. But John Davies, though, fantastic lap there. 15 minutes to go, and this qualifying session is going to absolutely chop and change as Darian Bailey for DR Motorsports goes to 7th. But yes, your top 10 at the moment, and I will also right. So the top 10 at the moment, Powermax Sim Racing, currently in provisional pole position by 0.2 of a second from Anthony Jans, Team Spirit Racing, championship leading car from Doug Henson Racing in third, from Overstep Racing in fourth. Kyushu Motorsports in the 07 car is in fifth position. Magenta Warriors Racing Team is in sixth position. Scuderia GT Italia in seventh. DR Motorsports in eighth, and Franco Scaletta and the Scania Endurance Motorsport team in ninth position. Odin Racing, Joe Chiampa, another very competitive car in 11th position, although that has just changed, as Greg Hall for DR Motorsports in the 122 car who goes up into 7th position, although now moved down by Sherwin van der Sloot in the Team RGPL car, the 138, not the one that is in 4th position in standings as far as I'm aware. Or is it? Yes. No, it isn't. God, I'm getting confused because there's two RGPL cars out there. And it's the 137 car, the one that's in last position at the moment, which is the one that's fighting in 4th in the standings. But yeah, this order is just changing up so much at the moment, as we've also got Anthony Jans purple in the middle sector. I'm struggling to keep up with these boys now. As he does improve onto pole position by 1.5 seconds. Oscar Hardwick chops that down to 0.8 of a second. Quentin Benoit. I would really like to be told how to pronounce that name. I'm sorry. because I am 155% sure that is absolutely not how to pronounce it. But yes, as I say, this qualifying session about to chop and change to. I'm trying to keep an eye on this 137 car because they're a car that really should be competitive, really should be up towards the front. They are obviously fighting for a decent place in the standings, and they really do need to get up into room 1. But they are struggling as Daniel Schmidt, PRL Logitech Racing, goes up into 7th position, and the 137 car starts a lap. Wow, all these sectors coming in. There's so many improving ones. Some names that are a bit further down than I would expect them. You've got Borja Milan in 12th position. I would expect him to improve for Flatline Racing. Franco Scalette in the number 52 Scania Motorsports Endurance Motorsports team, and also we have Joe Chiampo in the Odin Racing car. Those are 3 of the ones below that I would expect to improve up. Pedro Gomez currently in 9th position in Sim HQ, obviously with an automatic pass into room 1. Would expect that car to be a little bit further up the order, but obviously with the conditions being the way they are, it is impossible to tell, as Borja Milan goes to 9th position, gets himself into room 1 presently. No one going purple at the moment from what I can see. We're just having various people further down the order improving, as a slow first sector there for the 137 car, a 37.1 when we've got some of the people further up doing 36 ones, like Oscar Hardwick, who does a purple final sector. Doesn't improve across the rest of the lap, but a purple final sector to prove that this track is definitely getting faster. Franco Scalette improves his time to a 2:07.752. But this track is getting a little bit faster. This is the perfect form of a qualifying session where the track starts out really rubbish and gets better and better as the session goes on, which means that generally, towards the final few stages of this qualifying session, we are going to see some very rapid times being put in. Possibly not any that would compete. Sorry, we're not going to get to slick tyres. God, really slow there. We're not going to get to slick tyre conditions, obviously with the wet conditions the way they are in RF2. We will probably be sticking on the wet tyres for the next 10 minutes. But still, Daniel Schmidt in the 75 PRL Logitech Racing car improves again, 2:05.781 rather. Currently puts himself in 6th position. Stander Senel also in the 137 Team RGPL car, the team that, as I said, 4th in the standings. Would expect those to be higher, currently 15th on the road, 3.8 seconds off. Definitely need to be improving in that car. A bit of traffic up ahead, coming down the Kemmel Straight, although he has pulled off. I'm not sure what he's doing, but either way, just keep an eye on some of the times coming in, as the 07 Kyushu Motorsports car putting in some decent. He's dropped a lot of time, I think, in that middle sector, or at least this is what I can see from live races. I'm not quite sure of the colour coding in live races, you see. Anthony Yans just started his lap, gone through the first sector split. Not amazing, but alright. Obviously comfortably on pole position at the moment, 0.8 of a second. As we watch Quentin Benoit to the line, doesn't improve, does... Oh no, he does improve, he just doesn't go anywhere. He did do a 2:05.172 for the 07 Kyushu Motorsports car. Let's have a look. Who else have we got improving? We've got Franco Scalette moves up into 11th position. Not good enough to be into room 1 at the moment. He would have to get quite high. Where is that team in the standings? They are quite low. Wow, I think they've DNF'd twice. They're 18th in the standings. Been in room 2 the previous 2 rounds. Just waiting for more laps to come in here. I think we're at that stage where people will be pitting, taking on those final clean wet tyres. Joe Chiampa goes to 11th position. But yeah, taking on those final clean wet tyres. The thing is with wet tyres, which you'll notice more in the race, less so here, is that when they've been worn in a little bit, these tyres are so much faster when they're clean, like so much faster. After about 3 or 4 laps, they just kind of lose that initial grip, and even if the track's improving, you can do faster times, but it's just the fresh rubber is so potent on the wet tyres. As we also had the number 11 Overstep racing car improve up into 4th position, 2:05.500. Of people just starting their laps, as yes, we've got lots of people coming around to start their laps. That was an improvement from Porsche Milan to 4th place, 2:05.254. I said that car was going to be a quick one, and he is proving it. Very quick has Porsche been over the last few rounds, so he's going to pull off, get some fresh rubber. Oscar Hardwick also pulling off to get some fresh rubber. 6 minutes 45 seconds remaining in this session. This is the exciting part of the session. As say, this is I'm expecting this to be a very interesting end. The rain is getting a little bit heavier, so you never know. But I still think there's a few drivers that might still be able to improve. But yeah, the rain looking like it might be ruining this one for us in this final 6 minutes. As we did have an improvement there, the number 69 Odin racing car, Joe Chiampa, into 11th position. Pulled off, get some new tyres. And yeah, I will quickly go through that top 10 because we do have an interesting thing here that 10th place is not the transfer point. It is 9th because Scuderia GT Italia down in 14th position. But yes, the top 10, Anthony Jans currently on P1 and number 45 Team Spirit racing car. Then it's Magenta Warriors. Then it's the 07 Kyushu Motorsports car. Then it's a 13 Flatline Racing, 11 Overstep Racing in 5th position, the 138 RGPL car. Then it's the PRL Logitech Racing, 48 Power Max Sim Racing, impressive qualifying from them. The 122 DR Motorsports car, and then the 18 Doug Henson Racing car. But the important thing here at the moment is that we actually have 2 cars at the moment below that 10th place that have automatically got the transfer. You've got the number 29 Sim HQ Motorsports car, Pedro Gomez, in 12th position. They automatically have a transfer up into Room 1 for the 24-hour race in a week's time. We also have the Scuderia GT Italia, the number 60 in 14th place. That is another one that has an automatic transfer up into Room 1, which means that the number 18 Doug Henson Racing car and the number 122 DR Motorsports car both are not in Room 1 at this present moment in time. They must improve if they want to keep that spot. The rain is getting heavier though. I do not think that there is going to be many people that can improve in these conditions. This rain is getting too heavy. We're at 20% raining now. It's 46% online, so we can still clear up a little bit of that, but I don't think we're going to see a big enough improvement from any of these drivers that is going to put them up comfortably enough in that top 10, especially considering to get into Room 1 at the moment, if you're not in that top 3 in the standings, you must be in the top 8. Three minutes to go. We are seeing some good sectors from people still, so the conditions, people are prevailing. As Anthony Jans on that lap did a 2:04.6, which would have still been enough to put him onto provisional pole position here. So he still has time. I wouldn't say he's got time in the bag, but he still has time to be playing up at the front of this field, which is impressive and important for the rest of them, which means that the track is still good enough to put in times like that. This is obviously the furthest split that we've seen the LMP2 category across the season. This is the first, I'm pretty sure, yes, it's the first wet qualifying session of the season for LMP2. I don't think, they weren't wet until August. I'm pretty sure they weren't wet at Fuji. So, this is their first time qualifying in these conditions. And it is proving to be very tough. Greg Hall in the 122 DR Motorsports car does improve, doesn't move anywhere, but improves his time. It's still important, it's confidence. When you see that time come down, you're like, yes, this car still has it. This, you know, he didn't improve by much. He only improved by 0.08 of a second, but the car still has the pace. He's still got the time in it. So, hopefully, we will still see some improvements. Yeah, we're in the final 2 minutes of the session now, so anyone who's started their lap now will be on their final lap here at Spa. So we've got the Seawolf Net Race Motorsport car that has started its final lap. We also have Nathaniel Lupson, the number 18, the number 18 Doug Henson Racing car. They are on pretty much the bubble spot. They need to improve. This needs to count this lap here for the number 18 car. So very important time of the session, but I don't think we're going to see improvements. I'm seeing too many mistakes out there. It's getting a little bit too wet. The rain is coming down now, but the wetness is still there. Can anyone improve their position? I don't think anyone is going to take away pole position at the moment from Anthony Yans. But what can happen? Lupson's got traffic. Lupson's had he just had traffic too much there from the Seawolf Net Race Motorsports car. That is his qualifying session over, I am pretty sure. And so, without any any cuts and stuff, I don't think he is going to be in room 1. But obviously, wet conditions, tough to keep it on track. This qualifying order is going to change a lot, as still no improvements. We're just seeing a couple of sectors popping up, the good sectors, but nothing complete, no one's getting that lap in. Also, the problem is, you got to remember, it's the first sector, it's the first one to come across. So it's like, wow, look at that first sector. It's not where the times were being lost in these conditions. That is all through sector 2, which is where I'm seeing a lot of your orange and red splits, which are the ones where they're just not getting close to their initial lap time. So it's I'm pretty sure our qualifying order will remain as it is. I don't think anyone is going to improve. A few people have escaped. Oscar Hardwick, currently in second position, has escaped. Also, John Davies, which I think John Davies in that Power Max car obviously went on to provisional pole position slightly earlier in the session. Looks like he might just be scraping his way in that car, and that car has been into room 1 once this season, back at Silverstone, but it's been a long time since Silverstone. So it does look like that car may be into room 1 here today. But yes, I am pretty sure that is the qualifying session ever. Which means we will have an Oscar Hardwick return to the room shortly. And we will be able to talk to him about how that session was. It looked pretty mental. But Anthony Yans, Team Spirit Racing, looks like he has secured what I am pretty sure is the 4th pole position in a row for that car. Yes, interesting stuff. And obviously these conditions, looking like if we have them, which we're pretty sure this time of year, Arden Forest, we're pretty sure we're going to get conditions like this for the 24 hours of Spa. This is going to be one very, very interesting race. And yeah, 24-hour races are never easy, but in these conditions, boy, this is going to be a hard one. In a few minutes' time, we'll be getting ready for the GTE Pro qualifying session, and we'll run through your exceptions in that, who is through, who is not, and wow, hopefully it's going to be another very interesting qualifying session. These mixed conditions are really spicing up the order. We're getting those GT Pro cars into the session. And yes, I will very quickly go and pull up the qualifying orders from the previous rounds for this. Last time out, we had
User joined your channel.
we had Team Vires, who obviously a new car back at Fuji. They were on pole position at Interlagos, so we'll see what this session's going to be like. It should be a very interesting one. I'm pretty sure we've had 3 different pole sitters over 3 different rounds. So an interesting one that will be. And we have a return of the Oscar Hardwick P2 in qualifying so far. How did that feel, my friend?
Yeah, pretty nice. Mostly unexpected. But yeah, it was good. Anthony's on a different planet, but I think that's been a recurring theme, to be honest. Yeah, the wet conditions absolutely lent itself to the car. The 204.8, I'm pretty sure, was a cut, but I did a 204.9 that would have left me second, that I'm pretty sure is clean as a whistle.
I was going to ask you about that, Mr. Hardwick.
So it's all okay. It's fine.
And to say Tommy O doubted you.
I know. I shall be having words with him later. See, Tommy O, I know what I'm doing. Don't.
No,
mess.
no, that's not true. You don't know what you're doing.
Not often.
No. See if you can qualify second a bit later on this evening.
If I can, possibly, that'd be lovely.
Yeah, we're getting ready though for this session, and these wet conditions looking like they're going to stay with us for the final two. Maybe it'll be a reverse of Interlagos, and the GT Yam will be dry.
Get a nice dry session.
Yeah. I'm sure Eric will be approving of that.
Yeah.
Of course, Eric Strana in the number 42. I'm totally not biased to Magenta Warriors car.
That one, yeah.
As they're all lining up at the end of pit lane here for qualifying, and we've got a little bit of queuing of Niki Jakovic out of line of everyone else, and the red lights on at the end of pit lane, about to go. Rain, yeah, it's gone green. But we do have some of that lovely rain, which you're fond of so much now.
It looks like, I don't know if the tyres have just not updated, but there's a lot of people not on the wets.
I see a few on inters.
I see Schoenfleet on softs.
Do you?
I think that is ambitious.
Let's have a look. Schoenfleet. Softs?
That is not the correct decision.
I wonder if that appears on live timing.
No idea, but softs is a bad call.
Bad call. Really bad call, yes.
Like, absolutely the only way, like, in both sessions so far, it's been start on the wet, stay on the wet, and just keep doing laps until everyone is going slower.
Oh, of course, yeah, we don't have the original live timing. We've only got live races now, which doesn't have a compound tyre. No, I'm pretty sure he is on softs. Legit. That is a ballsy and very incorrect move there,
Yeah.
Mr. Schoenfleet.
The soft, I would suspect, will not function.
No. A very interesting thing, though, about Schoenfleet, or not necessarily Schoenfleet, but about that car. Previous round, they were in a Viper, and now they are in a C7R. They have changed, which also will negate their championship standings.
Yeah, because you actually have to remove
the
car and re-sign up with a new
Yes.
number. So
And that car was the 333 car, if I believe, and that was 7th in the standings. So
It hadn't had an awful run or anything.
no, I'm pretty sure it's the 333 car they pulled. I know they've got 2 GT Pros. I'm not sure where if it's the 33 or if they pulled both. I don't even really know.
Who else is here?
Do we have another Revolution racing car out there? Yes, we do. Hani Al Sabti. Let's have a look. What are you in? You're in 3. Yeah, they pulled both cars and they're both in C7Rs. The 301 and
lacking
the
that
303
Viper
now.
love.
Well,
I mean, it says a lot for the Viper if the team that
thing
knows how
is-
to set it up isn't driving it.
Yeah, the thing is, as a bit of reference, I mean, it was a GTM Viper, but I have driven a Dodge Viper around this circuit in dry, and it was rubbish. Like, absolutely.
We've improved
awful.
it since then.
It was terrible. The words here have this setup, and it still felt like it was driving on default. Was just amazing.
Worse than default, to be fair.
Yeah, it's a horrible car.
We have had in our small team a rapid turnaround in regards to setup on both cars in the last 2 days, basically. We were at a point when neither car was working, and we had 2 days until qualifying. It's like, well, we best fix them.
Yeah, well, very quickly though, we will go through the top 3 in the standings just to tell you who is already through into Room 1. It will be SRVN, the 011 Championship leading car.
Bram Beelan, isn't it, today?
Is it? It is in 18th place. Nope, nope. Yes, no.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't know very much, but I know that the
Yes.
car that says SRVN.NL on the side is probably the right one.
Then it's the number 2 Northern Light Racing car. Yes, they are already through. Who's qualifying for them today, Mr. Hardwick?
What was the team?
Northern Light Racing. Number 2 car. It is, oh, right, okay, that guy.
I don't know. Is it Stefan Canet?
No,
it's not.
Jimmy Jewel Halvorsen.
Ah, right, okay, yes.
Is that's not remotely correct? I
Jimmy
do
Ewell
apologise.
Halvorsen.
Cool. And it's also Scuderia GT Italia's 106 car, which I'm pretty sure they've only got one car
I
in this
really
field.
want to see what time Schoenblick does on softs. He's kept it on the track the entire lap. I'm so
If he
curious to
goes
see what this
onto
is.
pole position, I will quit.
I think Cappett's been catching him the whole lap. I don't think it's going to be quick.
In these conditions, I am not shocked by this. Very impressive to say
Yeah.
that he's actually been keeping it on the road.
Well, not only
Is he
that,
gonna
but
be
make
the
it
first
look
person
controllable
to
on the
set-
road as
Is
well.
he going to be the first person to set a time?
He is going to be the first person
Let's
to set a
see
time.
if he can keep to their quote on the rear wing then. Revolutions never go backwards. I'm pretty sure in this session on soft tyres, he's going backwards.
Oh, that's not going to be enough.
221. There you go. He's gone backwards. 221.414 as Risto Caput. Beats
Again,
him, then
Capet
Hani
being a
Al
complete
Sabti.
weirdo and being the only human being in the
On
entire
Inters.
world that makes the intermediate tyre do anything. Although he has
Yes.
been absolutely smashed by Al Sabti, also on an intermediate tyre. So
Yes, Al Sabti, also reference to Al Sabti, is Arnie Schoenbleit's. Is the sister car to the 301 car that Schoenbleit's in. So that 303 car looking pretty good. Obviously, I must say, in comparison to the previous Revolution Racing livery that was on the Viper, I really like the new one. In comparison,
well, it does have things going on it.
yes, it's not just a car with 2 stripes over the top of it, you know.
No, and like to be fair, Revolution are a bit of a staple of the series. They've so many drivers and entries that you
I've
you
noticed
see
a
them.
mistake on the livery as well.
You don't need to bring it up. It's
I'm
all
going
right.
to point it out on the broadcast, just so.
Don't do it. Don't be mean.
Oh,
As
but
Connor
Oscar-
McCarroll for
it's just
Overstep has moved to third.
It's just the air, the bit behind the front wheel. Yeah, where you've got like the bit where the air flows out doesn't line up properly.
Okay.
Hey, it still looks really good.
It does look fantastic. I mean, the C7R is one of the meaner looking cars that you can run
Yeah.
in GT. It's not quite a pink Viper, but you know, it's still alright.
It's pink and chrome now.
Is it chrome?
Oh my god!
I've driven it recently, but I didn't look.
Both the LMP2 car and the GTM car have had chrome added. I sent you pictures.
Did you?
Yes.
Well,
sorry for
I
going
mean, the
hyper.
audience is finding out with me. is all I can say.
No, you see, the thing is, you say the audience has been finding out with you, but I know at least quite a few people that have been watching this. They'll know. They'll have been like, oh yeah, I already knew that.
Niki Jakovic making the wet tyre work in a slightly more conventional way, up to second place.
I bet Jakovic even knew. Yeah,
And Miguel Ballester has moved into third, so Kappa
yes.
down the standings, and he moves
Kappa
to
back
third.
up the
Haniel
standings.
Sabti, 16.6. I think he was using the draft of Kappa through Sector 3 as well. Clever, clever.
Clever, clever indeed. As yes, we've got C7R, Porsche, C7R, Aston. But yeah, the Niki Jakovic, obviously pole position last time out, looking like he really wants to challenge for a second one. He is on the wet tyres. Our Sabti is on the intermediates. Risto Capit's now out on the wet tyres. Ballister's on the wet tyres. Puoti, wet, 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 wet. We've got McCarroll in the Aston Martin, the Overstep Aston, number 100 car. That is on intermediates. We've got a few other drivers. This order's changing a little bit, which is quite annoying. I'm trying to find things out. God
Also
damn it.
worth pointing out that
04 core team.
2 of our top 3 still yet to set times.
Oh wow, that 04 core team has a loud blue on the left-hand side of it. Wow.
Watching to see what Bram Bielen's going to do for SRVN.
This I don't know if this session's actually going to be. I reckon it will dry up. Niki Jakovic improves his time, gets to within a tenth of Haniel Sabti now, so he's getting a little bit faster and faster. The wet tyres coming to him. SRVN 211 car goes to 18th. That's obviously not the one we're really looking out for. We're looking out for the 011 car.
Bram Bielen's moved to
Go
third.
to third. Yeah, there we go. That was the car we were looking out for. Championship leading car. Up to third position. Obviously a Ferrari, which I'm not going to lie, I said this a few days ago. If I was going to drive in this series, in this category, a Ferrari would have been my choice.
Currently, from my team, I hear, why did you pick the Viper? Anything else would have been better. Frequently.
See, this is a very important thing. I also had the same thing from Reese, who drives for you in a different league in these cars, when he was asking me why I picked the Porsche, and it was your fault. But
Newsflash, don't listen to me about car choice.
The only reason you picked that Viper.
Huh?
I know the only reason you picked that Viper.
It looks cool and it sounds nasty.
No, it's the rear wing.
Oh,
And
yeah.
just to annoy Bailey.
No,
Only
it's
she
not.
really
It's
goes
not
to
to
fourth.
annoy. It's not to annoy because Stephen Bailey, he appreciates the artistic relevance of that rear wing in the same way that I do.
Absolute lies.
Well, potentially, but it is entertaining. I wonder if Eric's watching. If you don't put the big wing on, you're sacked after this qualifying session in
I
GTM.
had to tell him. When I drove
Yeah, quite right.
the Viper with him, I had to explain to him that he should be on the big rear wing. Oh dear, it looks ridiculous. Oh, you're the only Viper that ran that big rear wing. I say ran because now everyone else has quit the Viper and everyone's now driving C7Rs.
There are 2-3 Vipers left, but they're all in GTM.
It's still not the rarest car in our parts. That does go to the BMW, of which we do have one on the field today, and we've got one in GTE AM.
Yes.
Damien Trapp.
So good.
Down in 23rd.
I loved the pronunciation there.
Look, it says trap, but there's a PE on the end. What do you want me to do?
Well, it's not Damien, is it?
Well, I can't read it. And A and an O looked exactly the same in the R Factor 2 font.
Is it?
Yes.
Kind of.
Look at Fran Sola at the bottom.
Well, for a second there, I thought you guys were in Fran Solo.
Oh dear. What a name that would be.
That would be fantastic. Unfortunately, running around 25th of 25. 25 drivers in this class. That comfortably outdoes the LMP1 and LMP2.
How many people were in LMP2? 19? 18?
19.
19. There was 17 in LMP1, which means there is like 4 free spots in LMP2. If you get what I mean.
Kind of. I'll pretend and nod in a way
Mr.
that you can't
Bailey
see.
told you to shove your big wing where the sun don't shine.
Oh, right, okay.
Exactly.
Did he? That's
He did.
That's an interesting opinion, and I respect it. He really
you
doesn't
should
need to
respect
hide
Hannah's
his feelings
opinion.
anymore
Hashtag
about how much he loves the wing on the Viper.
I'm actually going to put that hashtag on the car. Hashtag big wing or bust.
Big wing or burst.
Yes, I like this. The qualifying session, though, which we are supposed to be commentating on, is about halfway through.
Well, it's unfortunately gotten to that point where the
It's a bit
track's
too
falling
wet.
away from the drivers.
Yeah. Yeah, it started falling away from you guys at the end, didn't it?
Well, we sort of had, I would say, 10, 12 minutes where you could improve, and then it started getting slower. And it's still worth going out now because you can go probably within 0.8 of a second of your best time, and that's always handy for in case you cut, basically. But in the last 5, 8 minutes, it's just pointless. There's no pace left in the circuit. It's just too wet offline to be able to do anything with it.
The rain did slow down towards the end of your session, though.
It did, but it did keep falling. And the problem is, as long as it's falling, the track's getting wetter.
Yes, this is true. Yeah, it's just getting a bit too wet out there. So we need some good jokes.
Well, unfortunately, it's not dampened the session. It's made the first 10 minutes really intense to drive in, because you know you've got to get the times down. But from a spectator or commentary point of view, it's a case of they go out and do some fast laps, and then it stops with 10 minutes of session left to go.
Yeah, but these are the points, though, where you cannot lose focus. You must remain on... Well, it's not that you must remain on track, but it's always a good idea to be out on track for when it does improve. Think Silverstone in Formula 1 2014, when Hamilton decided to be like, no, it's fine, and then didn't have pole position anymore. You know, obviously we're not going to see anything as aggressive as that here, but it is still quite a point that you shouldn't just go, oh no, I'll just sit in the pit lane for the next 11 minutes. You should remain on track, just because at any point the rain could slow down. You know what R-Factor 2 is like. It just might go, all right, you know, let's have it dry now. Woo!
I imagine that it will today with the just the amount of rain moving through the area, though.
Don't expect it will ever at Spa, but
it's
you know.
Spa and it's winter and it's raining. Everybody is
snowing,
shocked.
mate. This is snow.
No,
This is not
right.
snow.
Yeah, it is quite chilly, isn't it?
Is it? I don't know. It's 1 degree ambient. I love the
degree
ambient and the track temperature. Oh dear. Obviously, the track temperature is locked. The ambient temperature is 1 degree. The track temperature is 29. But yes, it is locked. Oh, also,
toasty.
that is something important that I thought I should point out, as it was pointed out to me. The graphics have slightly changed on the broadcast. Looks good, doesn't it?
There's been an overhaul on the heads-up display for the broadcast.
Lord Allison doing his work, making it look very, very nice, as always. And of course, has actually been working little bits towards the broadcast overlay 4. And we will plug now. Plug now or never be plugged. The simracing.club Porsche series.
Which,
Porsche
by the way,
Supercup.
there is a pre-season test event for on Monday at
Is there?
6 in the evening UK time.
Well, this Monday, tomorrow, not tomorrow.
Not tomorrow, but the Monday coming. Yes, there is a pre-season test, Numero 2, which, provided you are signed up, you're welcome to turn up to and take part in.
I think I should be allowed to take part in the new.
Are you signed up?
I am doing the commentary for it.
But are you signed up?
I'm signed up for commentary.
It's not right though, is it? It's not quite the right thing. Maybe you could do a test broadcast.
Nah, no one will watch that.
But yes, there is that coming up. There's also been news out of the Codemasters and Dirt Rally Camp describing and talking about some fixes for leagues, which means that the simracing.club Virtual Rally Championship is now going to be kicking into gear soon. You know, we're sort of just waiting on fixes there.
Racing jokes.
Huh?
Haha, kicking into gear racing jokes.
Hilarious. I'm just full of puns.
Too funny, I think.
Yeah, definitely. That's just the problem, is I'm too funny. That's the issue everyone has. No. But there's those series coming. VEC, of course, will be continuing. Next weekend is the 24 Hours of Spa. But
So
from
VNMS.
there, we're going to be going to other circuits.
Thanks. But absolutely thanks. We go
Think
to
it
the
might be
12 hours
Sebring?
of
I'm really
Sebring.
not
We
sure.
go to the 8 hours of Istanbul. Then I believe it's the 6 of
Is it 8
Nürburgring.
at Istanbul?
No, I think it's actually 8 for Istanbul and Nürburgring. And then obviously we have the
Well, it's 6
24
for
hours.
one of them, isn't it?
We have the 24 hours of Le Mans at the end of the season.
24 hours of going straight and occasionally encountering a chicane.
Oh, shut up.
I'm the only person in the world that doesn't like Le Mans.
No, I don't. Well, I obviously after last season, I really don't like Le Mans. But
Alistair's just sitting off the circuit at the moment. That's a bit odd. He's escaped now. Okay.
Yeah. But yes, we do have that towards the end of the season. We've got 4 rounds after the 24 hours spot, so we're not even halfway through the season yet. So we've got a long way to go. Of course, this should have been this should have been an American round. We should have been at Daytona, but we do go to Sebring, so we do still have to go to America.
I'm looking forward to Sebring.
I'm not.
Good
I
track.
don't like Sebring very much.
It's a good track.
I think the only race that I've ever done there has been in. Do you remember those the stock car V8s in Game Stock Car?
I am mostly aware of them. Yes,
Do you remember that race when everyone started running out of fuel in TPS?
I do. That was
We're allowed to
entertaining.
plug other leagues because they're dead.
Really? Probably not. But yes,
Oh yeah, because Callum's going to watch his broadcast. and come up.
Sebring is a real staple of endurance racing. It's one of
It
those ones
is,
that you kind of have
absolutely.
to have on the calendar. Although we'll be taking LMP1s there. Of course, that doesn't happen any longer after the IMSA
Oh,
takeover of ALMS.
Of course. Also, the important thing is that I believe, not for this round, but for Sebring, we should also possibly, maybe kind of, have the update for the Audi and the Porsche.
Really?
Possibly. I think so. I don't know.
Good.
Yeah,
Excellent.
I think so. I think they released the bits and bobs that were missing from it that would work.
The LOD
Yeah.
on the Audi, right?
Yeah.
This unfortunately is very much just evolved into our discussion about stuff because no one's going quicker.
Nothing's going on. We are so sorry.
It's kind of out of our hands at this point.
Blame Belgium.
Yeah. Honestly, Belgium, why do you always have to be so damp?
Yeah.
I
The rain is going down, but just not enough. We might have an interesting final 5 minutes. Like the final 5 in Battlestar Galactica. Right, Oscar?
I'm not that far.
Oh, for goodness sake. Oscar's the kind of person that will sit down and watch TV and then he'll give up. Even though
No,
raining.
it's a case of I'll sit down and watch loads of it at once and then none for a week.
Yeah. It's been more than a week, it's been a month.
You've been other things though. I've been busy practicing for VEC.
No, you haven't.
It's a funny
No,
joke.
you haven't. No. In fact, Oscar's been annoyed at DHR for practicing for VEC.
There comes a point when
It's too
thousands of
much.
laps just makes me miserable inside, even if I'm not doing them.
Yeah.
It shouldn't, but it does.
You don't ever do practice, mate.
I've done practice for V8 at Radelaide.
Real life. I remember having to.
Well, I've got to redo it all now because my lines have got to change.
It's true. But I distinctly remember having to blackmail you into doing laps. Do you remember when I was your team manager once, mate?
Yeah,
and
but that
it
was Virtual Super Tours and they're rubbish to drive.
It was Thruxton.
And that's a rubbish track.
It was a rubbish track, but I managed to.
Sorry,
blackmail-
Bailey, I apologise.
It is a rubbish track. Well, Bailey likes it.
Yeah,
All
of the DHR guys who, 90s touring
Really?
cars was the golden age of everything. Thruxton apparently is good. And
I am
I understand the idea
absolutely
that skipping through the
departing
fast
DHR
corners
now.
is exhilarating, but when you do it in Sims in front wheel drive, you don't skip through the fast corners, you just chronically understeer.
Wow.
You get one handling characteristic and it's just chronic understeer for a lap. And then nearly
Yeah.
rolling in the final chicane and that's it.
Yeah, I don't like Thruxton. It's a horrible track. But I managed.
Not Kill's wonderful though, lol.
I managed to blackmail Oscar into doing 100 laps of practice around there.
I didn't enjoy any of them.
Nope. But you did get 2 motorbike skins out of it.
1.
Was it 1? No, I thought it was 2.
No, it was 1.
All right then. Oh, nice.
I remember Lewis's strops better than he does.
Oh dear.
That's a valid statement.
That is a valid statement. You wait until we've had Ackerman crash,
Yes.
and Arnold Shively go straight over his bonnet. But
Out of
yeah,
interest, is Thomas Jacobs in the top 3 in the championship? Because he's
No.
currently sitting outside the top 10, and he normally doesn't.
no, it's Flatline Racing, which are 9th in the standings. 3 on 3 have been outside of Room 1 back at Silverstone when Boyd Bryson did the qualifying. Then Thomas Jacobs did the qualifying for Fuji, and I think Boyd did the qualifying for Interlagos, if I recall correctly. But that is just from memory, so who knows? But they have been in Room 1 for the previous 2 rounds.
I think it's drying up. Everyone's out. Everyone's on track.
This is drying up. Yes, the rain percentage is 3%. It is drying up. So we may have an exciting
Improvements.
final 2.5 minutes where you can stop listening to me and Oscar talk absolute
Just
nonsense.
ramble about nonsense. That's.
We'd be great endurance commentators, mate.
Well, that's the thing, is that we're currently in a situation that just mimics basically everything between hour 2 and 23 in every 24-hour endurance race.
Yes.
Which is sitting around nattering to each other and other drivers about stuff until the end
Until something
happens.
Yeah.
Bailey
Obviously,
will
you're
murder
doing
me for that
commentary
comment as
for
well,
the.
but you know, I'll take the punches later.
You're doing commentary for VLMS, aren't you? Mr. Hardwick?
It's written in the stars that it should be so, as long as there's someone doing cameras and stuff like that. But I think I don't know if Jimmy is. I might have to bribe someone into doing it with cake and cuddles. I don't know. But
Stogly, me, mate. I'm driving.
yeah, I'm not driving.
And
because
also,
I'm driving
Oscar
everything else.
refuses to cuddle with me.
And I do refuse to cuddle with Lewis. Yes. Not going to happen.
I'm not going to say anything.
Are you not? What a surprise!
Oh dear.
But yes.
We are though in that final minute and a half. We'll see if anyone can improve. Still kind of feels unlikely, but we
No,
shall...
the line showing. There's an actual line showing now that's drying up.
Stopped. The rain has stopped, but I think it might be just a little bit too wet still. You know?
I'm watching Nicky Jakovic at the moment, who is
I'm
on
gonna
a lap.
Check on his shoes.
I think. Is he on a lap?
He's just started one.
Okay, that's
Okay, Risto Capit, second sector. He's half a second down, but through the first sector he was only like half a tenth off. So this track is definitely getting a little bit quicker.
Is it going to be
We've
the
got-
last person in the top 10 that crosses the
Yes.
line?
McCarroll, okay, this is important now. McCarroll, the number 100 overstep racing car, currently in 10th position, has improved in the first sector by 10.
Yeah, there is a proper dry line forming. I mean, it's
He is
wet
the
off.
only one that's improved. Oh, no, hang on. Here we go.
Now, Hani Al-Sabti has
Oh.
only just started the lap.
Yeah, we've got Solar.
Doomleet's done, Kawauchi's done.
Solar, who is down in 20th position at the moment, but is improving by a whopping 1 second.
Well, that's going to be a big jump then for him.
Probably, yeah, up
Maybe up a spot or
towards-
two.
Oh, don't be mean.
Oh, no,
Oh,
he's
no,
gone.
he
Never
spun at
mind.
the final chicane. Oh,
It was looking so promising, and then it wasn't. It's okay though. You're still in because your team's got points. I know that was a different person. Sorry, Fran. You're not. Oops.
Oh, stop being a horrible human being.
Apologies. I'm interested to
Risto-
see what Hani does because he started his lap late in the day.
Risto Capit has just started his lap. Now,
Oh, is
so
Risto behind it? Oh my goodness,
yeah,
this could get
Risto's. Which
tasty
Thomas
at the
Jacobs
end.
improves to 10th. Okay, here we go.
There are improvements. And
Bram
he's knocked down to
Beelen
11th.
has spun. Bram Beelen has spun. He will not complete his lap. Ballister is also
Jakovic to the line.
4,000s. McCarroll
Ooh,
improves to 8.
Not quite. Oh, now Sabti's run wide on his lap. That's game
Yeah,
over for Al Sabti, so it's all on Capit.
We've also, yeah.
We've also got Ballister on the lap.
Yeah, we do. He was only like 7,000ths off of himself in the first sector, so it's possible for him. He spun, he's gone. Bye.
This is the danger here. There is lots of grip
Can it
online
crash?
and literally none if you're off of it.
Jacob, I don't believe is still on a lap. I
No,
believe
he
he's finished.
crossed the line
He
after it
crossed
was
the line,
done.
Yeah. So that's
It's
that
Risto.
car, pretty sure out.
It's Risto or bust. Or when the rain starts coming back down again.
Yeah, it's not going to be happening.
And
Yeah.
I think he just ran ever so slightly wide there as well.
Might have just been, yeah. He's definitely run illegal there.
keep on it. We want to see if you can improve anyway. Be interesting.
It's definitely not going to be pole position, mate, but like keep going.
But I did see Al Sabti do a 17.4. No, it wasn't. It was Djakovic on a different kind of track, and you can see already the lines disappearing under the weather
some
again.
Heavy rain again. Yeah, look, 25%, 26%. Wow, that is some heavy
This is
rain.
a downpour. This is the first proper downpour I'd say we've seen. Everything else has been pretty progressive, but this is just...
This is some heavy downpour. Also, it's not going to help.
It's going to give it a go, though.
It's not going to happen.
It's not going to improve, but it's going to give it a
go.
go.
It's going to be. It's going to be. Oh, it's an improvement. What a lap!
Well done, Risto Capit. I mean, he cut everywhere, but it was a good lap.
I'm absolutely sure that was illegal. What a lap!
But well done for improving, because the weather was useless in Sector 3. That was really impressive. Well done.
Yeah. Shout out to Risto Capit.
So now just waiting for the GTE AMs to join in.
Well, we're absolutely not going to be completely biased.
I'm not saying that I want Eric Strana to win, but
yeah, of course it is.
I don't think he will. I mean, we're in the Viper, and it's just no secret it's not very quick.
Eyes wide shut, but they know, buried alive by the lies in they soul. They stride of a blind man stroll. Well, for whom does the next bell toll? This a long time coming like a comet pass. Got them all fired up from the rocket blast. And if I fall on my sword, turn my bone to ash. Let it clog up the sand in that hourglass. We in the title fight, blow for a blow. And you can reap the benefit of what I have to sow. Cause I'm about that worth of which you don't appear to know. So you can take the scene while I take over the show.
Alright, hello everyone, and welcome back to the final qualifying session here at the 24 Hours of Spa. Obviously our first qualifying session, our first qualifying here for 2016, the second half of Season 8. We're here for GTE AM, which obviously very, very interesting qualifying session about 2 months ago back at Interlagos, and the rain is falling heavily here. So how will this qualifying shape up? Oscar Hardwick, who is going to get pole position?
Probably Adam Taylor.
Yeah?
I would like for it to be Eric Strani, but the Viper's rubbish, so it probably won't be.
Obviously, the last time out, it actually wasn't dark racing. It was Scuderia GT Italia, the number 31 car. Presently being driven by Rizzo, and not a name I've seen before, or maybe it is a name I've seen before. I just don't know.
I think it was Silverstone.
He was at Silverstone.
Certainly at Silverstone. Possibly at other ones.
I don't know. I don't pay attention.
It's really, really raining a lot.
It is really, really raining a lot. Yes. 43%, 44%, 45%.
Rizzo's on softs.
He is crazy.
It is overly moist for that compound.
What a technical term. Yeah, we've got a few things to go through though for this broadcast. Now, obviously, for this session, rather. Now, the important thing that we have here for the top three, and there is some very, very important stuff for this top three. Right. So, leading the championship at the moment is a team that has not won in Room 1. That is the number 43 three-wide motorsports car. They have had a podium in Room 1. They've actually finished runner-up at Interlagos. They also won race.
They're on the hard tyre.
That's fine. They
that's
won,
Texas drivers. Sorry.
They won back at Silverstone in Room 2. They're on 69 points. Also on 69 points, though, joint championship leaders, number 34 Banzai Motorsports car, which have won in Room 2 twice, have not been on the podium in Room 1. They were in Room 1 at Silverstone. So that's quite weird to see someone or a team that's been in Room 2 times this season be second or joint lead in the championship. Also, though, we've got Revolution Racing in the 033 car. They won back in Interlagos. They are 2 points off the championship lead. And, it's obviously pretty close. So those are the three cars, the 43, 34 and 033. They are out. They are already into Room 1. But the really, really important thing from this is the 845 car. The winner of Silverstone and Fuji in Room 1 are not in that top three. They are 60 points. They are 9 points back from that championship lead because they were actually disqualified for Interlagos. I think it was something to do with the lights, if I recall correctly.
Which team was this?
Dark Racing.
No, it was
What
because
was it?
Adam Taylor became submerged during his stint physically because he lives in the north of England where it recently rained a lot
of
and
course.
became a river.
Of course.
And unfortunately, it meant that his teammate at the time, who I think was Pedro Ramada,
he
had to do too long in the car. And irrespective of how underwater you are, there aren't any exceptions to that rule.
That's a rule. A rule is a rule and you've got to stick to it. But unfortunately, they have been met with a disqualification from Interlagos, which means that the winner from the first two races, back in 5th in the standings. Obviously, it's not too late for them to move back up, as they are being barely submerged here on track. It's very interesting to see a team that has been so strong this season have that. There is just some incredible amount of
Bad luck,
unluckiness.
basically.
Yeah, it's so very unfortunate.
I think they even won the race.
I mean, I
Interlagos.
can't even say, well,
But
these
on
things
track, that
happen.
is.
You know, it's like, no, these things don't happen. It's not a normal thing for you to just be, oh, it's flooding. Oh dear, I can't drive. That's not normal. I do remember seeing pictures of that. It's like, oh god.
Yeah, it was properly unfortunate for all the guys up in the north of England, and
Yes, it was.
it
Of course.
did affect one of the guys taking part in the race at the time. And like the truth is that the weather you're seeing on the broadcast is not dissimilar from the weather that we've had recently here at home in the UK.
The weather has been pretty poor. I mean, it's been pretty crazy all over the world.
Oh, and Risso's crashed.
While. Yeah, Rizzo has
Blanchimont.
crashed out of Blanchimont. He's escaped now, but still, we've got our first times in now. Ed Trevelyan Johnson.
Viper pole.
Viper. Oh yeah. Is he still a Viper? Is that? Or is it?
Yeah, still a Viper.
Oh, it is a
Viper 1-2. I'm not biased.
See, Oscar, if you look at the number 42 car, what did you see?
Sexy Viper.
Is it chrome? Is there
Big
chrome
wing?
on there? There is
Potentially.
potentially chrome on there.
I'm not denying the fact that there may be the existence of chrome on the Viper.
Such an idiot.
I just
But
need to wind you up. That's honestly it.
Oscar once told me that he watched all of my videos, at which point I knew it wasn't true, but he kept telling me. And then one day he just told me he did, and it broke my heart. Such a horrible person.
Well, yeah, I guess so. I can't disagree.
You wait till Valentine's Day, mate.
Ooh, Nate. Sorry.
Anyway, yes. Our top two at the moment, Edmund Trevelyan Johnson. 033 car, of course, one that's already the winner back at Interlagos, already through into Room 1, automatically passed. Then you have Eric Strana, which is a car which has been into Room 1 on both its attempts, actual attempt. And obviously it didn't do Silverstone because Oscar's an idiot. but that car has had some decent pace across the season. It's not finished on the podium in Room 1 yet, but we shall see.
Yeah, another thing worth mentioning, I think it's just about ceased raining at the moment. So they had a massive
like
old
it.
downpour, but now the track is just wet.
Which
It's
is not good. We wanted this to happen a bit later on in the session so that it doesn't get boring at the end. And you don't
Well,
have
to be
to
fair,
listen
if
to...
it does this to the end, then the track's just going to keep getting quicker.
Yeah, but it's definitely going to rain before the end, Oscar.
It might do.
Do you know what part of the country this is taken from? What part of the country? This is taken from
Part
Belgium.
of the country.
Part of the world.
The Belgian bit of Belgium.
The Belgian bit of England, mate.
Yes, which exists in everyone's knowledge.
But yes. Either way, this is Eric Strana's first official session in the Dodge Viper, and I can confirm to you, Oscar Hardwick, he is running that gigantic rear wing.
He is running the good rear wing, is what you meant to say.
Edmund Trevelyan-Johnson is not.
Well, that's just a weak sauce choice, isn't it, really?
Weak sauce.
Let's be honest.
That just tastes a load of weak sauce.
Just big wing or bust. Hashtag big wing or bust.
Yeah.
If you tweet track, just everyone you know right now, hashtag big wing or bust. Go for it.
Thanks for that one, Anderson.
So yeah, everyone out on track, so obviously the conditions looking favourable.
Yes. Yes, they are. We've got Adam Taylor, who is in 3rd position at the moment. Obviously pole position back at Silverstone and Fuji. Hoping to get back onto pole position and get back the form that this car has had.
Realistically, I think you're probably going to see 18s from the fast people in these conditions.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit more than that, but probably 18s.
Hasn't the Dark Racing car had a couple of additions to its lineup for the 24 Hours of Spa?
Well, I would hope so, unless I think just the two of them again.
No. I did hear they've had some additions from somewhere. I just cannot remember which team.
Yeah, I'm not sure who. No, I don't know. There must be some, but I don't know who they are.
Bailey, help!
Link us things.
But yes, they have had a couple of drivers added to that car. But then also up there is a Gurgly Barros in the Oster Racing car. Now, I do know a few things about this car. They have lost a few drivers.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate. Now's not the time you want to be doing that.
No, I know for a fact they've lost James Wilson.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure I heard they lost another driver.
Billy Cullen?
Well. No.
I know he's not really done anything, has he?
No.
I don't know then.
No, I don't. I honestly I don't remember. I did hear they've lost another one.
Unfortunately,
Daniel Maybach joined them from the M-Tech car.
Oh, okay.
The car.
Oh, Taylor goes pole provisionally.
Gurgly Barros goes 3rd. So yes, this track is getting a little bit faster.
Getting there.
It was. See, the thing is it wasn't looking like an amazing lap from
Simoncic has
Taylor.
gone pole.
We've got. It wasn't looking like an amazing lap either. Even then, it wasn't looking like an amazing lap from Simoncic. He just put it together, and from Taylor, he just put a purple sector in at the final sector, and boom, up there.
Yeah, it's absolutely the way of it though. At the moment is pushing. I mean, you're running the risk of running white lines and spinning the car because it's still a lot wetter offline than on. So it's all about sort of pacing yourself. And if you see someone doing very uneventful corners and braking zones, they're probably going really fast.
Here we go. Right, okay, so we've got some really fast sectors coming in here. Eric Strana up on the current provisional pole time by 7/10 of a second, as far as I can see on live races, through the second sector split. So this is looking like it's going to be provisional pole position for Eric Strana, as long as he puts together in the final sector. And I'm sorry I've been saying that so quickly. We also have a purple sector from a Mr. Adam Taylor in the first sector. He is actually about half a tenth quicker than Journey Simoncic, who is also purple, or is also sort of beating himself in the
19-1 for Strana, lost a tenth in the final sector.
He is useless.
No, it's because our cars are uselessly slow in a straight line, no matter what we do.
Oh, God, shut up. It's true.
Hashtag Viper problems.
We also have... I can't even read that.
Who are you looking for?
ROTW. I just couldn't read it on live race on my other screen.
Okay.
ROTW Racing Team have gone up into 3rd position, provisionally, of course, 219.977. We've got a couple of improvements. The number 87 KSM racing team has also improved. They're now in 15th place. Of course, we'll run through the order again a little bit later just to make sure that we know where people are. We've got a purple first sector from Taylor, as I said. We've got a purple middle sector from Viper Power, Edmund Trevelyan Johnson Revolution.
It's going to be where the Viper's good. I mean, our low speed and high speed grip's really good. And actually, Taylor has not beaten Strana on that lap. So,
how does that make you feel? We've got Jone Simoncic coming to the line. Is he going to go on to
probably, yeah.
Yes, he does.
He has done.
A
Marginally, but he has done.
Now, Trevelyan Johnson goes on to pole position of 2:18.938. So we are getting those improvements. This session is getting good.
I'll be absolutely honest. If you had perfect conditions for a Viper, these are it. This is absolutely the time that the Viper's quickest is changeable. Not wet, not dry, but changeable, and the Viper's fantastic.
That's it. This is what we're saying here is if you want the best car in the GT Am field in the wet conditions that require some finesse, you've got to go to America and pick up one of them.
No, what we're saying is not if it's wet, but not if it's dry. But if it's in the middle-ish, then the Viper's a decent decision. But other than that, it's awful.
Adam Taylor massively up in the first sector. He is going quick. We've also got Eric Strana also improving again through the middle sector. So
keep on swimming, keep on swimming.
Yeah, indeed.
He's unfortunately catching.
Oh, it's fine. Chill.
It's that car.
It's a car. Yes, he's catching a car. Good stuff. Eric Strana to the line though. Is he going to improve? Yes, he does.
Swiggity, giggity, swiggity.
18.439. Eric Strana onto provisional pole position. And we've still got two. We've got Adam Taylor also going very, very quickly at the moment. That ROTW car also improves a little bit. Let's have a look. Who else have we got? This session's just getting a bit mental for me.
It's going to be, yeah. You've got Faber down in 6th, and that's off pace for the 3-wide Aston.
Yeah, we've got a spinner at La Source's escape very quickly. Good job. Edmund Trevelyan Johnson, purple through the third.
Taylor's coming to the line now.
He's lost quite a bit in the middle sector. In fact, he's like a 1.3 seconds off of Edmund Trevelyan Johnson in the middle sector, and it's still an improvement for him, I think. Let's have a look though. Edmund Trevelyan Johnson escapes from his lap. Let's have a look what Adam Taylor does. Does he go on to provisional pole? No, he doesn't. 4/10 off of Eric Strana. What Oscar is like praying for now? He's like, rain!
Now just piss down with rain and end the session. That would be wonderful.
Who is that in 11th place? 11th place. Rizzo, there we go. Right, so it's going to be a GT Italia number 31 car. That car that is joint lead in the championship. Is it joint lead or?
I think you said it was, yes.
Oh no, it's 4th in the championship.
Oh,
it's 6 points, 8 points off. So yeah, that car is also improving through the first sector. It's actually faster than Eric Strana through the first sector.
So is everyone. It's a Viper.
Actually, no, those two, him and Eric, are the only two that are improving through the first sector. Now we've got some really quick improvement times. Revs Sim Racing's also gone up there. Texas Drivers up to 8th.
Goodly Barros to 5th.
Goodly Barros
Faber to 5th.
Yeah, no, it's just improving too much. Yeah, Barros. There you go. I'm kind of watching this from live races because it's a bit more accurate because I can see sectors. Rizzo was actually purple through the first sector. He's lost quite a bit in the middle sector. Let's have a look what Eric does as he comes towards the line.
I don't think it'll be an improvement. I think he had traffic.
Yeah. No, it's not an improvement. Still an 18.7. Still not good enough for provisional pole.
Yeah,
As
he did
Rizzo
have traffic in sector 2, and I'm hoping he's just going to put new rubber on and go straight away. He's doing exactly that. Good man.
Jone Simoncic, he was fastest through the first sector.
He's got traffic though.
He has got traffic. So this lap will not be an improvement as he's going to try and get part.
Oh, this is not going to end pleasantly for these two.
Oh.
Trevelyan Johnson coming to the line. Is he on a lap?
Sure. No, he's not.
He's not. Okay.
No, people are just picking up some fresh rubber. In fact, no one is actually on a lap. We actually had Cameron Brewster, who was a lot further down that 754 TSA Sim Racing car. I believe that car's been into. Let's have a look.
I think it was only the first round that the 754 got into Circle 1. I think.
Oh no, they didn't. They didn't get to the first round. They did in Fuji, and they didn't in the previous round. But
I was
when
going to say, I think they fell
round,
foul of the changeable conditions at Interlagos.
in Fuji though, they did pretty good. They finished like, well, I think that's 6th or 7th, which is not bad.
Pretty good, to be honest.
Yeah, fields are all competitive here.
Lots of people trying the Inter at the moment. Taylor, Trevelyan, Johnson.
This is the time to do it.
Yeah, but it's not quicker.
No, I don't
the
think
wet.
it's either. But if you're going
Simoncic
to test
onto a
these
lap.
kind
I know Simoncic finishing a lap 20.5, but of course he had that hideous traffic. So
yeah, the thing is you've got, if you're going to have those kind of things, you've got to do it in this session because, or right now.
Josh Hoare in the Viper
because
tonight.
We've not got very long left. But yes. Yeah, that Rev Sim Racing UK car in 9th position, running comfortably in the top 10. In fact, quickly, we'll go through the top 10 whilst a lot of people are going around on their laps. They're just about to start going through the first section and stuff like that. We've got Eric Strana currently on pole position for the number 42 Magenta Warriors Racing car, which Austin will be very happy with. Adam Taylor, Dark Racing 845 car, winner at the first 2 rounds of the season. Obviously, the disqualification, they need to get their season back on track. The 033 Revolution Racing car, a championship lead. Nope. 3rd in the championship car. Winner, though, back at Interlagos. They're in 3rd. Johnny Simoncic, 014 Vodball Racing car. Very strong in the qualifying back at Interlagos. Looking strong here as well. And it's the 43 three-ride racing, three-ride motorsports car in 5th. Scuderia GT Italia in 6th. 102 Overstep Racing car in 7th. Then it's the ROTW Racing Team car in 8th. Revs Sim Racing UK in 9th, as the ROTW car goes up to 6th now. And then we have the 67 Texas Racers Drivers car in 10th. Now,
I think Ed Trevelyan Johnson's coming to finish a lap, isn't he?
yes, he is. Adam Taylor's purple through the first sector.
Yes, but Adam Taylor cut in sector 2.
Okay.
Oh, on that one. It was an improvement for Trevelyan Johnson, but stayed 3rd.
Yeah. Okay. Now here is an interesting thing. This is something that we always keep an eye on: is where the split is in comparison to where the people that have the automatic transfer are. Now, in 13th place is the number 34 Banzai Motorsports car. Now that team has an automatic transfer,
right?
But that team also has only been in Room 1 once, so it's not a surprise that they're down there. But they do have an automatic transfer. So that means that the Rev Sim Racing UK car, currently in 10th position, is not in Room 1. They are in Room 2. Jenny Simoncic improves to 3rd. We also have the ROTW car that's fast through the first sector. Yep, this session is about to go absolutely mental. Adam
How do
Taylor.
you whisper again?
How do you, what, in,
Yeah.
for goodness sake. /W. Now that is a slash, then a W, space, EIRC. Jeez. Oh yeah. Was it last time where I told you how to whisper people? There's definitely something where you asked me how to whisper
I
people.
mucked it up a few rounds ago.
And then you put W/ like an idiot.
I am sensible.
What are you telling us to do? Escape?
No. Back off.
Oh, he's got Barros.
Oh,
Barros should
wow,
back
that's
out of
just...
this. That's naughty, Barros.
I mean, toaster intensifies. Right
Careful.
there.
Barros definitely should have backed out of that, though. I would more suggest he escapes and get some new tyres, my friend. But still. 4 minutes to go in this session. And who is going to be on pole for the 24 hours of Spa? Of course, the qualifying order, not necessarily so important, but getting into Room 1 is absolutely essential here for these teams. So, yeah, I don't think pole positions too important, but it is always very nice. Eric Strana's gone off. He used to escape quick. Just mucked up.
He didn't.
He just pulled off. Okay.
He was team orders.
Ah,
No, I suspect that we're going to get surpassed here, to be fair.
have confidence in your man.
I do have confidence, and it's showing that, you know, that's already a time well and truly good enough for Room 1, and that's always our goal, is to try and get Room 1.
A champion of various things, mate. Have confidence.
He is. Like,
in fact, recently crowned champion, mate.
What did he win?
Masters.
Oh, okay. Congratulations, Eric. Well done.
Audi TTs in R Factor 2. He won a championship Sunday last week.
Stayed ahead of Taylor. Taylor did improve that lap, but not enough.
Yeah. But Taylor's got 2 more laps.
Eric will only have the 1. Yeah. I mean, 1's fine. These cars turn on pretty quick because they're heavy and ruin tires.
Well, hey!
Giggity. Probably never a right context to use that term, but hey, what are you going to do?
Definitely not on
As
the
Trevelyan Johnson comes to the line, and he's starting lap, so that's irrelevant.
Yeah. We've got quite a few people that are starting laps now.
Faber, another one to watch. I know he's not quite up there yet, but I believe he's got the pace in that car.
Yeah. Let's keep an eye on these sectors rolling in.
I mean, Eric still has the 2 fastest times.
Yeah.
Still, that's wonderful.
Oh, God, mate, stop. Oh.
No, I can't.
Oh.
We have struggled like who knows what with this Viper, not just in the season, but particularly over the last week to get it working.
Yeah, but you know the race is going to go badly for you, mate.
Cross that bridge when we come to it.
Oh dear. I'm joking. We've got a few people going faster through the first sector. In fact, there's 5 people on fire through the first sector, all of which lose it in the second sector, speaking enough. So, evidently the Viper a handling car. As Journey's backed off from his lap, Journey Simoncic, who's currently in 3rd, but he was fast through the first sector, lost it all through the second, so just backing off to start his final lap. Eric Strana's coming around to start his final lap as well. Adam Taylor out of he's lost a load of time in the middle sector, so Adam Taylor got 1 more lap to go for him. Everyone will be starting their final laps very, very shortly, as we've got 50 seconds left of this session. Can Eric Strana keep pole position here at Spa, or is he going to be beaten?
Tricky to say. Like, it requires
Trevelyan
clean
Johnson's
laps
got
for
traffic.
people.
There's also a car off. That was P14. That was Sim HQ Motorsports car off, reversing in the gravel trap. Really should escape. There's 25 seconds left, mate. But yeah, Trevelyan Johnson's got a big old load of traffic, but he's going to get past. He's going to be so close to starting this lap. I don't know if Trevelyan Johnson's going to do this.
He's not going to make it.
He's
That's
not going to make it. No,
2,
that's it. It's done.
1.
Edmund Trevelyan Johnson will not start another lap, so this is it for him. 4th position then for Edmund Trevelyan Johnson.
Well, at best of 4th, there's still people behind him running.
Yes, of course. We will have to keep an eye on that. Eric Strana improving through the first sector. So's Journey Simoncic.
I think Zanabini's on a lap behind Trevelyan Johnson.
He's
but he's on the grass in the braking zone.
What a mistake to make her. He's done.
That's
right.
Unfortunate, that is. So it's now a 3-way duel at the top, I would say. Daniel Faber might improve and get himself up there, but he's not been there so far this session.
No.
3-way duel. Strana will be the first to finish. Simoncic has backed off, so Simoncic is out of the game. So it's Taylor, Strani, potentially Faber in a duel for the provisional pole in GTM.
Not putting in a great middle sector. I don't know. See, I think this is the point where it's maybe a little bit too dry.
That is there is a sweet spot with the tyre, is the problem.
Absolutely.
And it's about being out there on a hot lap when the sweet spot's available. And
so Eric Strana coming through the bus stop chicane. Currently, provisional pole position. Will he improve?
Don't think
Will
so.
he remain? He does not. He is 1 second off.
Oh,
which-
Taylor's gone. Taylor's off.
gone as well. Jerne Simičić, the final man through Blanchimont. He goes.
He's backed off this lap. He's way off.
He has backed off, which does confirm the pole position.
That's Faber or bust, because Faber is still within reach.
True. It's true.
I don't know what Sextus is doing.
No, I don't think so. No, 40.2 in the first sector. He is 1.5 seconds off of Eric in the second sector. It's just not enough. So no. And too much curb through Blanchimont on the entrance. So yes, your boy.
Woo!
Yeah, slightly too happy.
Get in.
We're supposed to be impartial commentators here.
We got pole at the second in LMP2. Yay! Oh, that's wonderful. Ah,
God, it's supposed to be unbiased, mate. Jesus Christ. Any further
all
improvements?
Brewster to the line.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to improve, or he might do. Does not.
He decided to start lifting beforehand. Oh, it was a 2:39 though, so he obviously had an error during the lap.
Yeah.
Cosmos
that's it.
Traponi is going to be the last guy to the line, I think.
No. He's been off in the gravel track.
Oh, okay, never mind then.
Messing out.
That's that.
That is that. I don't know what he's doing. Oh, that's an interesting
I
line
think
of
that's
pit
the
lane.
first.
Pole position for Magenta.
That,
No.
but the first Viper to be up there. So did
No.
Revolution get pole round one?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
No, I don't think they had. No, not in. Sorry, not in GT Am, but in GT Pro, the Viper has had a pole position in the hands of Revolution Racing. Anyway, though, that there.
Was
Finish
qualifying.
off our qualifying sessions here for the 24 Hours of Spa. Of course, keep an eye on the Virtual Endurance Championship Facebook for the official results in a few days' time of these sessions. And of course, tune back in 1 week's time. We will be going live. Probably, what is it? It'll be like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, something like that.
Roughly
UK
then.
time, something
Yeah,
like that.
roughly then UK time.
Go and check in the forum or wherever it is, or just keep an eye on the Virtual Endurance Championship Facebook. And of course, yes, 1 week's time we will be getting ready to go for the 24 Hours of Spa, the first of 2 24-hour races here for season 8. Do not miss it. It is going to be an absolutely amazing race.
I suspect so.
Disconnected.
Eyes wide shut, but they know. Buried alive by the lies in they soul. They stride of a blind man stroll. Well, for whom does the next bell toll? This a long time coming like a comet pass. Got them all fired up from the rocket blast. And if I fall on my sword, turn my bone to ash. Let it clog up the sand in that hourglass. We in the title fight, blow for a blow. And you can reap the benefit of what I have to sow. Cause I'm about that worth of which you don't appear to know. So you can take the scene while I take over the show. You don't wanna say no more than a man you can't afford. And you don't wanna let this turn in the lines of mine and yours. And you don't wanna push your luck, but back up and withdraw. Cause trust me when I tell you, you don't want that tooth and claw. And you don't wanna see inside the mind of a savage kind. And you don't want that recognition of, oh, there goes that guy. But if you do decide that you were gonna play that hand and try, just think before you act, because your actions go around.